Have you ever wondered why the things that give you instant pleasure often leave you feeling less motivated to pursue more meaningful endeavors? It's a conundrum, isn't it? The culprit, my friends, is a neurotransmitter called dopamine. Dopamine is responsible for that surge of pleasure you feel when you munch on your favorite snack, binge watch a new series, or scroll endlessly on social media. But here's the paradox. While dopamine rewards us with instant gratification, it also plays a crucial role in our motivation to strive for long-term goals. So, when we have easy access to quick dopamine hits, our motivation to chase after more meaningful but demanding pursuits dwindles. Imagine a world where we can strike a perfect balance between pleasure and motivation. A world where we can enjoy the now without compromising our future. Sounds ideal, doesn't it? This is where neuroscientist Andrew Huberman steps in with his groundbreaking research. Andrew Huberman, a renowned neuroscientist, has been exploring the mysteries of the human brain for most of his life. Born with an insatiable curiosity, Huberman dedicated his early years to understanding the intricate workings of our minds. He pursued a rigorous academic journey, earning a PhD in neuroscience from Stanford University, where he now serves as an esteemed professor. Huberman's research has always been groundbreaking. He dove headfirst into the complex world of neuroscience, focusing on the brain's reward system, particularly the role of dopamine. He became intrigued by its influence on human motivation and how the easy access to quick pleasures could be hindering our pursuit of meaningful adventures. His work has led to a deeper understanding of the human brain, unearthing fascinating insights about the fine balance between pleasure and motivation. His research has led him to a novel approach, one that aims to balance pleasure and motivation. Huberman's research has led him to a fascinating discovery about the brain's reward system and how it influences our behavior. Diving headfirst into the depths of neuroscience, Dr. Andrew Huberman has unearthed an intriguing understanding of dopamine, the brain's reward chemical, and its profound impact on our motivation. His research has taken him on a journey through the complex neural networks that govern our desires and drive our actions. Huberman's studies have illuminated how our brains release dopamine not just when we achieve our goals, but also when we are on the path towards them. This anticipation of reward, he found, is a powerful motivator, pushing us to explore, to strive, and to persist. The thrill of the chase, it seems, is as much a reward as the catch itself. However, this system is not without its pitfalls. Like a well-worn path, the more we tread upon it, the more entrenched it becomes. By constantly seeking immediate gratification, the quick hit of dopamine from a social media like, the temporary high of a shopping spree, we risk overstimulating our reward pathways. This can blunt their response over time, leading us to seek ever greater pleasures to achieve the same dopamine rush. And therein lies the danger. This is where the concept of dopamine fasting comes in. Coined by Huberman, the idea is to take a break from these quick dopamine hits, allowing our brain's reward system to reset and our motivation levels to rejuvenate. It's not about denying ourselves pleasure, but about redefining it. Shifting from the transient thrill of immediate gratification to the enduring satisfaction of pursuing meaningful goals. Huberman's research has challenged the traditional understanding of dopamine as merely a feel-good chemical. Instead, he has revealed it to be a complex tool of motivation, one that can drive us towards success or lead us astray, depending on how we use it. His findings have revolutionized the way we understand motivation. Now, let's delve into the Huberman approach, a method designed to maximize both dopamine and motivation. The Huberman approach is a beautifully crafted method that seeks to maintain a fine equilibrium between pleasure and motivation. This balance is crucial because too much pleasure can dull our motivation, while too little can leave us feeling unsatisfied. So how does this approach work? The first aspect of the Huberman approach is understanding the role of dopamine. Dopamine, often dubbed the feel-good neurotransmitter, is not just about pleasure. It's also about anticipation and motivation. When we anticipate a reward, our brain releases dopamine, fueling our motivation to pursue that reward. Huberman's approach encourages us to harness this anticipatory aspect of dopamine. Instead of seeking instant gratification, which can lead to a dopamine crash, we should aim for sustained motivation. This involves setting long-term goals and reveling in the journey towards achieving them. The second aspect of the Huberman approach is about taking control of our dopamine levels. This means consciously regulating our exposure to dopamine-inducing activities. For instance, if we spend hours scrolling through social media, We're flooding our brains with dopamine, and this can lead to a decrease in motivation. The Huberman approach suggests limiting these activities and focusing more on tasks that are rewarding in the long run. The third aspect is about incorporating dopamine-friendly habits into our daily lives. This could be anything from a healthy diet, regular exercise, or even engaging in creative activities. These habits not only boost our dopamine levels, but also enhance our overall well-being. The Huberman approach is about more than just neuroscience. It's about understanding our brains, our motivations, and our desires. It's about learning how to navigate our lives in a way that promotes both pleasure and productivity. But the beauty of the Huberman approach lies in its simplicity. It's not about drastic changes or rigid rules. It's about small, manageable adjustments that can lead to significant improvements in our motivation and overall happiness. As Huberman puts it, it's all about finding the right balance between pleasure and purpose. So, how can we apply the Huberman approach in our daily lives, and what benefits can we expect? Well, the first step is to set achievable goals. According to Huberman, our brains are wired to actively seek out and accomplish tasks, big or small. By setting goals that are within our grasp, we're not only giving our brains an opportunity to release dopamine, the pleasure chemical, but also reinforcing a positive feedback loop of accomplishment and reward. Next, let's talk about mindfulness. It's not just a buzzword. Mindfulness in the context of the Huberman approach is about being fully present and engaged in the task at hand. When we're focused, our brains are in a state of heightened awareness and responsiveness, which can lead to more intentional actions and better outcomes. So, whether you're working on a project, learning a new skill, or even doing household chores, try to be fully present and engaged. Now, this next point might be a bit challenging. Limiting instant gratification. In our fast-paced, convenience-driven world, it's all too easy to fall into the trap of immediate rewards. But here's the thing. These quick fixes often offer fleeting pleasure and undermine our long-term motivation. So the next time you're tempted to binge watch your favorite show instead of working towards your goals, remember the Huberman approach. So, what can we expect from implementing these strategies? There's increased motivation, for one. By setting achievable goals and limiting instant gratification, we're training our brains to derive pleasure from the process of achievement, not just the end result. There's also improved focus, because when we're mindful, we're fully engaged with our tasks, which can lead to better results. And ultimately, there's the potential for overall self-improvement. In the grand scheme of things, the Huberman approach is about more than just dopamine and motivation. It's about understanding how our brains work and harnessing that knowledge to live more intentional, fulfilling lives. With the Huberman approach, we can redefine our relationship with pleasure and motivation, and ultimately, lead more fulfilling lives.